Nice uppercut, jab.
Good, beautiful, beautiful.
Nubia, come here. Nubia, come here. Don't be scared. Normally I give myself 3-4 days before the fight. I need to be away from him because I don't want nothing interrupting my preparation for the fight. This is my partner Zoe, and this is my daughter Nubia. They can see me become more grumpy, and I don't like to be grumpy to people who I don't need to be grumpy to. I want to be grumpy at my opponent, and save that up for my opponent. So I'm glad. I like to keep away from everyone. You know what I mean? Bye-bye to the TV. Bye-bye. Now I'm going to watch a tape of my fight, my last fight against Sean Robinson in America. Pick up my bad points, pick up my good points, and try to better myself.
He's super tough.
I like the way my defense is tight, for his swings.
Going in the first round where he,
my jab is one of my best weapons. It's a weapon that I've copied off, greats like Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali. I remember leading up there now to the end of the round, I unleash a very fast combination. There it goes. Woo! That's pretty impressive, if I may say so.
Nice uppercut, jab, straight right hand,
3 uppercuts on the trot, and that's what impressed a lot of Americans. Like Don King and his son. You don't see many heavyweights throwing 3 uppercuts on the trot with that type of speed. The response ringside was unbelievable. The commentators, the American commentators, thinking I'm the next heavyweight champion. Is really, really good. What's happening, Jimski? Because we're so close to the fight now, when I get to the gym, you do very little, just basically dotting the I's and crossing the T's and just getting your sharpness, basically. So, feel good, man. Ready to rumble.
Well, that's a good jab, the wild right hand, but Danny digs to the body.
As a Muslim, you have to pray 5 times a day. So, regardless of what I've got planned, I've always got to keep my prayers. So, I'm now going to pray in the mosque. I've been doing this sport now 20 years, and I believe it's my time now. I'm just on the verge of hitting the big time. I can almost taste it. I'm not going to let Michael Sprott or anyone for that matter get in my way. Now I've done my prayer, I feel good. I feel like I've done my duty to God. Now I can get on, with my boxing. Right now, I think about my ring walk. I'm thinking about when I'm in the changing room, warming up to fight. Think about the nerves, my trainer, the people around me. I keep going over it. So when it comes, it's not a shock.
This kid is going to be a real force to reckon with in the heavyweight division.
This guy, I now can see, has some serious ability. This is an impressive performance. That's it.
Welcome to my second home. This is Barry McGregor, my trainer. This is my trainer, Jim McDonald, top trainer. Michael Sprott. It's all in my mind, Michael Sprott. The way I got into boxing was from when I was young, far back as I can remember. My dad just kept saying I was going to be heavyweight champion of the world. Michael Sprott's a good fighter, but I'm British champ. He had a dream that I was going to be heavyweight champion of the world, and he forced me into boxing because I didn't like it. My brothers used to take me to the gym, walk me to the gym, which was about 2 miles from my house, and then when they would go, I'd sneak off and play table tennis, put water on my clothes like I'd been training, and then when they come to pick me back up, I'd act tired like I've had a hard workout. My trainers at the time, Terry Newman, said I had tremendous ability and thought I could go all the way, but I just didn't have the dedication. But now I've got the dedication. I want to get back to the days of Emery Cooper, when you could ask the average man on the street who's the British champion, and they would know.
Well, of course, for that to happen, Danny has first of all to win tonight. And originally, he was scheduled to fight Keith Long, who had to pull out last week because of injury. So in his place, he'll be taking on Michael Sprott, who I suppose 6 days or so ago was planning to stay in tonight, get a few beers, and actually watch Danny fight on television. Now, he's actually going to fight him himself.
Coming in as a late replacement, this is a very big chance for you, isn't it?
It's a very big chance. It's a very big chance for me to not just redeem my career, but to move further and to do progress. Yeah.
And how fit were you exactly when you got the call to say you're going to be fighting for the British title? What sort of shape?
Oh, it's pretty fit. I've been keeping fit all through last year, and I had a fight before Christmas. So you know, I've been ticking over since the fight last Christmas. So I'm in good shape.
He's the odds-on favourite. You know that.
Yeah.
How do you plan to beat him?
I got plans.
Yeah.
But you know, I'd rather save it. Until I get into the ring. Leave my hands to do talking.
Yeah. You genuinely think you can cause an upset?
Yes, definitely, 150%.
Okay. Hope it goes well for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, normally we have Danny Williams at ringside talking about Audley Harrison. Tonight the roles are reversed. Evening, Audley.
Evening.
First things first, if you've only got a week to prepare for a fight, how difficult is that going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult. Obviously, you haven't prepared. You know, Danny's style is quite unique. You haven't prepared for his fight, and then you get the call. And you know, heavyweight boxing, and boxing is such. You've got to take your opportunities as they come. You know, we've all seen upsets in boxing, and Michael Sprott has got a great opportunity here, but really, you know, he hasn't really been given enough time to prepare, and he's just got to give it his best shot.
How close is Danny Williams to being a serious contender for maybe a world title?
I think Danny's got a bit of work to do. I think Danny showed a lot. He's got some great explosive speed, which a lot of big guys haven't got. I think that's a good asset for him. He's got good power. He's got a good chin. But I think, you know, the chin thing, people getting carried away with people's chin. When you step in class and you've got big 18-stone guys who can punch, you can't afford to sit there. And I think Danny's complacency, he's going to have to address. But I think he's exciting. When he opens up, he does look good. And he's definitely above domestic level. You know, he's been British champion twice now, and it's time he moves on to world honours. So I think he is world class. He has the potential to be world class. Definitely shouldn't be on the domestic rankings, and I think he can potentially go and challenge one of the guys out there. There's a lot of weak guys out there, and in terms of who's dominating at the top, not Lennox, and obviously, but it's John Uwes, who I think he'd have a chance against.
Well, from what you're saying, we're not going to see an upset tonight.
No, I mean, Michael Sprott, someone who's always training. I mean, he's one of my sparring partners, so I know him personally. He's always in training. I mean, he doesn't carry a lot of power. He's got great hand speed. He moves well, and he's coming off a couple of wins, so he's going to be confident. But I just feel, you know, he hasn't got enough time to prepare. Keith Long, I think, would have given Danny a tougher challenge because he's that kind of fighter who comes forward all the time. So it's going to be an interesting fight for a few rounds, but I expect Danny, obviously moving on to world honours, to be successful here.
Okay, well, here are the two fighters' respective records. Just one blemish on Danny's record. He lost to Julius Francis, but then avenged that defeat later. And as far as Michael Sprott's record is concerned, he's actually lost 3 of his last 5 fights. So he maybe isn't in the best of shape going into this contest. We join it at the start with Richie Woodall and Jim Neely.
Danny Williams comes into the ring, and just behind him the Lonsdale belt and the Commonwealth Championship belt. Hugely important night this for Danny Williams, not just because both his British and Commonwealth titles are on the line, but he needs to make a very, very good impression if he's going to progress in the world rankings.
Seconds up.
Referee Richie Davis brings them together. Just over a week ago, the man in the green trunks, the 27-year-old from Reading, Michael Sprott, was relaxing on holiday in the Caribbean. The word came through that Keith Long had pulled out, and all of a sudden, well, it's stuff out of the comic papers. All of a sudden, you find yourself the challenger.
Yep, certainly he's the challenger. A bit of a rocky story here, but I'm expecting Danny Williams to do a thorough job tonight. Michael Sprott, I would expect, probably will give it his all 3 or 4 rounds. Then we'll have to see what he's really made of, and literally how fit he's going to be for this contest.
Well, Sprott's a year younger than the champion Danny Williams in those long white trunks, but he's giving away about 3 inches in height, and he's giving away just over a stone in weight. Danny Williams in at a career heaviest of 18 stone, 5 pounds and 2 ounces. And not too far from ringside is Audley Harrison, and that's heavier than Big Audley has ever been in his short professional career so far.
Yeah, he certainly looked like he's put a bit of weight on there, Danny. But at the same time, got a good trainer, Jim McDonnell, who knows him inside out, and I'm fully expecting him to be fully prepared tonight.
Good solid jab from Williams, and a lovely little hook into the body. Sprott comes straight back at him. Williams comes here after a very impressive second round stoppage of a useful American in Connecticut in the United States just before Christmas. That was on the John Ruiz Evander Holyfield title belt, and John Ruiz is the man, I think, upon whom Danny Williams has set his sights in world title terms. Certainly can't afford to lose this one tonight. Third defence of his British title, 5th defence of his Commonwealth title. Only blemish, a loss to Julius Francis, who's about 7 or 8 rows back here in the York Hall in Bethnal Green. Good work by Sprott. Williams boxing the way he did against the American Sean Robinson, covering up quite nicely.
Yeah, Sprott there opened up with a couple of good punches, but that was a lovely left-hand, right-hand combination.
Oh, this
Danny
is great
Williams
stuff from Williams. Williams really stung into action by a couple of shots from the challenger, Michael Sprott, who will have to try to get it over early if he can, and the bigger man, Williams, putting it on. And Sprott in a bit of trouble. 30 seconds to go to the end of the first. And the late substitute, perhaps wishing he might still be sunning himself in the Caribbean.
Well, Williams landed with a couple of big shots there, and they're certainly taking their toll, and Michael Sprott really felt them punches, and Danny Williams just sensed that the end could come in this opening round.
Sprott's still there, but I know he's been staggered. He has been stopped on 3 occasions. Williams very nearly made it 4, and in this first round. Nice casual performance by the double champion, Jim McDonnell, in front of him. Very knowledgeable little trainer and a pretty decent boxer himself, but what a good finish that was by Williams. Took his time. Survived a fair bit of Michael Sprott pressure. Sprott really taking this contest to the champion. Nice educated left jab and a good solid couple of body shots, and that really stung Danny Williams into action. And maybe that was the worst thing that Sprott could have done, Richie.
Yeah, it certainly was. Up until the last minute of that round, Sprott was doing okay, but Williams landed with a couple of good shots and just sensed that he could end it here and now, and Sprott did well to survive that the last minute of that round.
10 seconds.
Busy round by an 18.5 stoner, and was accurate with more than 50% of them. Well, Michael Sprott, who was stopped towards the end of last year by the world-rated Corey Sanders of South Africa, gone straight back to beat a useful American, has found himself in against a man who really means business. Although Williams, there's not a great movement in terms of what he does with his feet. He really moves those big fists of his very quickly, as Sprott is finding out. Sprott now, I think, will be a little bit wary because he's felt the power of the champion.
Yeah, Williams is more of a seasoned heavyweight, coming in at 18 stone, much bigger fella, and certainly packs a heavy punch, big hitter, and Sprott felt a couple of those punches in that opening round, a couple of the big shots, and now he will definitely be wary from now on.
Well, Sprott has been a bit susceptible to heavy-handed men. He was stopped by Wayne Llewellyn, he was stopped by Harry Sr., and he looked as if towards the end of that first he was going to get himself stopped by Danny Williams, and that might well be the case.
Well, Williams landed a good left hook around the guard there, around the right hand of Michael Sprott. Williams landed a lovely left hook punch.
Bit of a slip there by Sprott. Richie Davis steps in and says, "Are you okay?" Slight bit of blood coming from the nose of the challenger. Managed by the ever-enthusiastic Dean Powell, was in his corner.
I was speaking to Dean Powell earlier, and he did tell me that Sprott was in good condition, although he's been on holiday, he's been training on holiday, and he's one of these fighters who literally he's waiting at the end of the phone for an opportunity like this. He's always in training, always keeps a high level of fitness, and he reassured me that he's in good shape tonight.
Yeah, Richie Davis telling Sprott off, and Sprott, I think, has decided that if he's going to survive, he's going to have to try to frustrate Danny Williams any way he can, and Williams just has to keep doing what he does best. Williams a little bit short with that left hand. Just 30 seconds. Can Williams put on a little spurt as he did at the end of the first? That was a good left by the champion. Once again, Sprott catches him. Doesn't seem to bother Williams at all.
This is good work from Sprott. He's just keeping it long. He's keeping a high guard. He's just working behind the jab. That's good boxing. Williams, it's making Williams think a little bit. He's got to look for opportunities and look for ways in on Michael Sprott, and that was a good body shot.
Yeah, Williams just drawing down his opponent's hands and catching him well in the midsection. Stiff jab by Williams, coming straight out, packs a huge amount of power behind him. Sprott breathes, I think, a fair old sigh of relief, but he had a very good second round. Didn't get himself caught the way he did in the first, and tried to frustrate the champion. Williams once again looking nice and comfortable. A huge man, 6'3", maybe not as tall as some, but certainly heavier than most. Plenty of activity in the Michael Sprott corner.
Now listen, be in there like you want it. Come on, step in with that jab and whip that right hand over his left leg. Okay?
Interesting statistic that. Sprott the busier in terms of the punches that he threw, but Williams in terms of landing to the head, which tends to be the scoring punches, came out the better in that run.
Second count, round 3.
Yeah, Richie Davis right before the bell went said to Sprott, just behave yourself and stop the holding and messing around. Williams trying to close him down to get him in that neutral corner. Sprott needs to be careful. Little rub of heads there, Richie.
Yeah, and Williams certainly doesn't need to be there with his head. Doesn't want to risk getting cut. But in that last round, although Sprott threw a few more punches, I thought Williams did a little bit more. A lot of Sprott's punches were on the gloves, and I still had Williams just taking the round 10-9 round.
Oh, terrific short right hand by Danny Williams, just arced it over beautifully over the left of his opponent. He is a big hitter. 21 of his 25 wins have come inside the distance. Good stuff. Well, a couple of very interested parties at ringside, needless to say, not just Andy Harris and Julian Francis. Mark Potter, who's rated in the top 5 or 6 in Britain, is not too far away from us either. And he's a man who might fancy a crack at Danny Williams, assuming, of course, that Michael Sprott doesn't upset a major apple cart. Little bit of bounce now, Williams. What a great jab. That was the best punch of the contest, Richie.
Yeah, that was a terrific shot. Good straight left jab, and it's such a simple punch, and it's every boxer's bread and butter punch, but lovely punch when it's landed properly, and it was smack on the target there.
Williams looks like he's warming up. There's a little bounce in the step there as he came just ambling forward, always at his own pace. Moving nicely now, Williams, and even threatening to get up on his toes. A minute to go to the end of this, the third round. Left hand by Williams caught the challenger, who nodded. If not in appreciation, then certainly an acknowledgement. There's that jab again. Sprott on the back foot when he took it, so the effect wasn't quite as serious as the first time.
Yeah, another great jab from Danny Williams, though. Really stepping in with that punch. And that's one of his assets, is that lovely left jab. Danny Williams has got a lovely strong left jab, and there it was thrown with perfection. Great punch.
Williams almost adopting that crossover style of defence, but again popping out long enough to land with another good left hand. Top of the head, right hand. Williams on Sprott. A few seconds to go. Sprott once again has decided he's going to get on his bike, and the bell steps in. Williams just pops him on the bell, and Williams will not be too displeased with this performance, and he looks as if he's boxing well within himself. Well, Williams looking relatively unruffled at this stage, and another decent round for him. Stepped in, and just that right hand nearly blew away the defense of Michael Sprott. Sprott on the back foot, and Williams trying to stalk him and just cut off the ring. That was a great shot.
Yeah, it was a lovely shot. He missed with the first jab, but he followed up with a cracking short jab that hit the target. That was a good punch, and those punches will start taking a toll on Michael Sprott, no doubt about it.
10 seconds.
Well, Williams not being just as accurate in terms of his punching as he had been in previous rounds. The only blemish in Williams' career was well and truly avenged in Wembley in July of last year, when he stopped Julius Francis in 4 very impressive rounds. Other than that, it's been win all the way. Good work by Sprott.
Yeah, it's a lot better from Sprott. Andy with 2 or 3 good punches there, and that startled Williams just for a split second. But again, he came back with a couple of good shots of his own.
Well, the one thing we have to say about Michael Sprott, Danny Williams was scheduled to fight Keith Long, who's even shorter than Sprott, and was very, very defensive, and will probably try to cover up. And Sprott has certainly given this a real go.
Yeah, he's given it a go, and the change of opponent, although it can be very tricky at times, you're preparing for an opponent, and then another opponent comes in at the last minute. But for Danny Williams, Michael Sprott is only 6 feet, just 6 feet, and I think Keith Long was about 5'11", 5'12", so there isn't too much difference in the height, and that will help Danny Williams, because he will be sparring people around the 6 foot mark anyway.
Oh, heavy stuff from Danny Williams, really unloading, having taken 2 or 3 stinging shots himself from a very good challenger. Midway through this 4th round, Sprott's corner saying good jabs all the time. He's got to keep his man away from him if he can.
Yeah, Danny Williams has got to start blocking a few of these punches now. He's a little bit too static for my liking. Obviously, being 18 stone, he's not going to be bouncing all over the place, but at the same time, he's got to provide a more elusive target.
Couple of rights from Sprott. Williams certainly taking a very good shot. Ferocious body punching and a right hand. Wonderful right hand round the corner. Left and right to the body. Sprott down. He says, I'm fine. But he really did get hurt. He's going to glance over at the corner.
That was excellent punching from Danny Williams, because he switched the attack from the body to the head and caught Michael Sprott with a terrific right hand over the top. Good punching, good variation.
And great speed and great power and great accuracy from the big champion. He'll be looking to finish this one if he can. Only a few seconds to go. Sprott down. That without a doubt a 10-8 round for Danny Williams. Sprott doesn't want to be in that neutral corner. Body shot from Williams and a left uppercut. Left round the corner, and Sprott now a little bit of blood around his mouth. Back to the corner on rather unsteady legs. And Michael Sprott really got hit and got hurt towards the end of that round by an exceptionally good onslaught by the champion Williams. Took his time, 1-2 to the body, clipped him around the ear, and then followed that up. And Sprott had nowhere to go but the canvas.
Yeah, Michael Sprott was moving the wrong way, if you like. He was moving onto that right hand, and he switched the attack from the body to the head, and that last right hand did the damage, and there was he didn't recover from it.
Wonderful fast hands, and above all, very accurate hard hands. Williams, but the two body shots were the ones that started that whole sequence in motion. Well, the confidence that will have given Danny Williams is immeasurable, I'm quite sure.
Well, that's certainly what this fight needed, because the fight was going a little bit stale, it has to be said, and that now has given Williams a new lease of life, and he knows this fella won't be as fit as him coming in at short notice, and these next couple of rounds will be big rounds for Danny Williams. He'll be looking to finish this fight these next couple of rounds.
Well, I've got to give Michael Sprott really 10 out of 10, not just for effort, but for courage.
Well, so often we see fighters who come in at short notice, literally they do cave in after 2 or 3 rounds, and that's mainly because they're not really fit enough and they give it their all for the first couple. But here Michael Sprott, he's proving to be a tough cookie, because we're into round 5 and he's still going strong.
Well, Sprott should be in reasonable condition. He had a tough enough 10-rounder against a decent American, Jermel Barnes, in Rotterdam just before Christmas, but he's getting caught now once again by Williams. Those are solid punches coming in from the bigger champion.
Yeah, big punches from Williams, and that's what he's got to start doing now, just stepping up the pace a little bit, putting Sprott in under more pressure, and the referee, I think, will be jumping in here. He's just got to sustain a couple of attacks.
Well, Williams hasn't lost a round, and it's got to come to the stage where if the man under pressure is not going to win the contest, and the referee's not going to let it go. Good right hand to the body by Michael Sprott. And again, he showed terrific variation, Sprott.
Yeah, switching from the head to the body there. This is good work from Sprott. Williams he's working, he's leaving the punches, he's going too long, throwing the punches. That's his problem here. He's going 10 and 20 seconds before he's actually throwing punches, and that's a problem for Williams. He's got to sustain the attacks much more and keep on top of Sprott.
There was a great right hand from Sprott which landed flush on the target, the side of the head of the champion, and Williams didn't even blink. Half a minute to go to the end of this, the 5th. A lot of the smart money was on Williams taking Sprott out at this stage, and he's trying to do just that. Nearly lifted him off his feet with that right hand. 15 seconds remaining. Richie Davis breaks them up. That was a wicked right hand, and Sprott's heels left the canvas. Such was the power from the champion Danny Williams.
Terrific right hand over the top there from Williams, and he needs to step in now.
Well, Michael Sprott is as brave as can be, and he's taken the fight right from the outset to the hard-hitting Danny Williams across the ring from him. Dean Powell with the specs on gets right in there. They're working hard in that corner. A little bit of blood coming from the nose. Well, Williams showing no signs of pressure or anxiety or concern about the destination of his 2 belts. But what a belter of a shot that was right at the end of that round. Williams just looking to tee his man up straight through, and Sprott may have been going on the back foot, but it was delivered with, well, chilling accuracy.
Yeah, terrific right hand, straight through the guard, straight through the middle, and it was a good job for Michael Sprott that punch came towards the end of this round and not the beginning.
Under severe pressure in the neutral corner, Sprott did well to survive. Well, this to take us up to the halfway stage of this scheduled 12-rounder. No judges in British Championship title fights. The referee, the man in the middle, Richie Davis, I should say. Once again, Sprott coming forward.
He's coming forward, but his punches are relatively slow and there's not much power behind them, and that's a sign that he's getting tired now, Sprott. Dan Williams just has got to keep this pressure going now.
Solid, hard, single, accurate scoring shots from Danny Williams, really taking all the steam and all the enthusiasm out of his opponent. Williams now feels he can afford to hold that left hand of his very low, because he may well have taken Sprott's best right hand to the jaw. That was in the last round and it didn't faze him at all.
Again, Williams leaving too long a gap before he starts working again. Really has got to up the pace a little bit here. Sprott's tiring and he should sense that.
Yeah, Sprott not giving up. Coming forward with a decent uppercut. Great atmosphere as ever in the York Hall and Bethnal Green. Sprott doesn't want to be in that corner. Williams a whisker away with that left hand.
Well, you really have to take your hat off to Michael Sprott. This is such a courageous performance. He's took some real heavy shots here, and he's still there. He's still working away with that jab, and he must be in good condition.
Well, I have a funny feeling the Sprott corner, while they appreciate that their man is doing very well, they're not going to let him take too many more of this, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if they said, Michael, you've done very well to go this far, but Williams will want to win it under his own steam, so to speak, and he's trying to do just that.
This is where now Williams should seize the opportunity and seize the initiative here. Sprott is tiring. It's going to take just a couple of big attacks, and Sprott, I feel, he's going to fade.
Well, Sprott is absolutely exhausted now. 30 seconds to go to the end of round 6 on the halfway point, and Sprott is tiring by the second. Good footwork though by the challenger. Bit of blood on the lips now of the champion, Danny Williams.
Yeah, Danny Williams still learning, obviously, but he knows this fight's his. Senses victory, but I'd just like to see him now step in a little bit and up the work rate, and he could stop this fight.
Well, Sprott has survived yet another round, and again caught the champion with a couple of good shots. And while there's no doubt about who's winning this contest, I think Danny Williams is not going to be altogether pleased with parts of his performance, Richie.
No, I mean, he looks the more powerful, obviously, tonight, but for me, he's just got to start upping the work rate, and he's got to start sensing when this guy is tired, and we can see it, but it's all right us sitting here. He's got to see it and he's got to sense it, but I really believe if he ups the work rate, he could win this contest and stop this fight.
Well, no doubt about the way things have gone. A decent round by Michael Sprott in the third, and of course the knockdown in the fourth, but it's been really Williams all the way, Richie.
Yeah, it certainly has. I mean, I'll give him a share of the third round. Some people may have just given it to Sprott, but Williams has always been in command. But from this performance, you can still see that Williams still has a lot to learn.
Well, let's see how Sprott's corner will react to the next 3 minutes. I think there was some chat that they might just have wanted to pull him out after the end of the previous round, but they've let him come out for this one, and Williams has really launched into him. This is Williams at his most animated. Sprott's in a wee bit of bother. Richie Davis is having a good look. They're going to put the towel on. They've seen enough. They've seen enough. Sprott did very, very well. The corner really had made up their mind that they weren't going to let this go on. Sprott, gallant Michael Sprott, took this in about 8 or 9 days' notice. Gave Danny Williams a really good championship defence for both British and Commonwealth titles. And the 28-year-old from Brixton has made it 26 professional wins and 22 inside the distance, and really that is a very, very impressive record. And how it impresses one or two heavyweights around the world, well, only time will tell. I think the end, Richie, was almost inevitable, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was, and as I said, it always needed that sustained aggression, sustained pressure, and that's what it turned out to be. He took a couple of shots himself, actually, Danny Williams, but there was only one winner tonight, and he'll be glad now that it's over.
Well, Sprott at that stage very tired, his defence all over the place, and he did get caught with a couple of very good right hands from a very animated champion, Danny Williams. Sprott against the ropes, absolutely exhausted, and well, no great surprise as Richie Davis was about to step in anyway. The towel came in.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 26 seconds of the 7th round, the referee, Mr. Richie Davis, has called a halt to the action with Michael Sprott in no position to continue. The winner and still British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion, Danny Williams.
Many congratulations. What was your verdict?
I'm very disappointed. I think Michael Sprott exposed what I've been talking about for a long time, that I'm rusty and I need rounds under my belt. So I think that the 6-7 rounds he gave me done me the world of good. But I'm disappointed. I know Danny Williams can box a lot better than that.
But you need another fight against a guy like Sprott. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I need 1 or 2 more workouts, and then you'll see the real Danny Williams. Because I know that when I'm on fire, like I went to America and sparred with a top heavyweight, I smashed them to pieces. If I get the right work, I know I can do it.
It looked like you had him in the 4th round. He did tag you with a couple of good shots, but you had him down in the 4th.
Yeah, he came out with a few. He came out with a few good shots, but you know, he can't hurt me. I've got a very good chin. I think in this fight I was loading up a bit too much, but when I did land, my power told.
Now, there was a suggestion beforehand from the people that look after you. You may fight Hassim Rahman in May. What do you know about that in an eliminator?
I know nothing of that. You know, after this fight, I'm going to phone Don King and see what he's got planned for me. But like I say, I would like one more British title fight, you know, to win the belt outright, because I'm proud to be British champion. And then the rust will come off, and then I'll be able to perform like a world-class fighter that I know I am.
But a fight against John Ruiz, finally, that would be towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
September, October, you'd be perhaps looking.
And that's exactly the right time, because that will give me, like I say, time to work off the rim rust and show my true ability.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
So here at ringside, Richie Woodall and also Audley Harrison. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was quite disappointed. You know, Danny's been getting built up quite nicely, and then I was expecting something special today, and I didn't see that. I saw, you know, Danny. We all know Danny can punch, but you can't be ponderous. If you're going to go into world-class level and you're boxing Klitschko, you're boxing John Ruiz, you're going to lose on points. I mean, Danny's already lost 1 tooth from putting his chin there too much, and he's going to end up losing many more teeth because he thinks he's got he can take a good punch. But you can't rely on that. You've got to pick up your pace and you've got to work through your gears. I mean, in his last fight, he worked through his gears, and that's what people want to see. Every heavyweight can work behind a jab and be ponderous, which is how Danny looked tonight. Michael Sprott is one of my sparring partners. I do many rounds with Michael Sprott, and you know, I'm not too far off. If that's the best what Danny can deliver, then I'm not too far off, because I can hold my own with Michael Sprott. I spar with him round after round, and I think I'm judging Danny in relation to the world-class pretensions rather than this level, because he's saying he's moving up. We all know he's a world-class contender. Then you want to see that in the ring, and I think today you saw him going through the gears. You know, maybe he thought it was too easy. They had a change of opponent. Maybe he thought it was too easy, but really you can't afford to be taking those chances when you want to move into the next level.
Well, interesting you should say that, because Richie, we heard Don King actually, he's been on the phone since that fight, saying that he thought it was satisfactory enough, and he's on course for a world title challenge at some point in the next 12 months. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, I certainly would. I think what Danny Williams has got to do, he's got to fight regular. Obviously his last fight was December 15th, and he admitted tonight he was shaking off a little bit of ring rust and shaking off the cobwebs, and so he needs now to get back in the ring within the next 7 or 8 weeks and keep busy. The best fighters are the busy fighters, and there's no doubt about that, and that's what he's got to do. Obviously he won't be totally satisfied with his performance tonight, but it's a win against a potentially tricky opponent. It's not always easy to come up against someone who comes in at the last minute, and I believe he can go on to bigger and better things, but he's got to keep boxing regular for me.